This is Brian from Workspace Admins. Today we wanted to show you what a target audience is in Google Admin Console and how you might use that for sharing a file in Google Drive or sharing a calendar. So the target audiences can be found under directory target audience, and we have a target audience created already called community members. And if you look at the URL or the address bar in your Chrome browser or your browser, you will see that it has admin.google.com /AC /target audiences /ID of the target audience. So that's important to note, as target audiences have a format of target audience ID .audience.googledomains.com. So this documentation is visible somewhere in the API documentation, but not necessarily in the support docs as you might expect. So I'm just going to create a new Google Doc here and give it a name. So if I go to the sharing dialog, I have the option of restricted, meaning that only named people have access, and I have the option of making the file available to Workspace admins or community members. So these are the target audiences that have been assigned to me through my Organic membership. So I'll show you where that's set up. So I'll have to go to Apps, Google Workspace, drop-in docs, and I will have to go to then Sharing Settings. And I'll select the test Organic that I am in. And as you can see, I have primary target audience, which is everyone with a workspaceadmins.org managed Google account, and the secondary target audience that we saw earlier, which contains a Google group. So I'm just going to reorder this and then remove workspace admins here. So we can now, the sharing dialog should only show the target audience in our case. So here I have the ability to add other target audiences or create more as I need. So I'll just override it and see what this looks like in the sharing dialog. So if I reopen the sharing dialog, you see the menu has changed to community members or restricted or anyone with a link, and anyone with link can also be disabled under sharing options. So once I disable this option here, and I'll just need to make sure that I'm selecting the right Organic. Sharing options. So disable this, override. And if I click on share again, now I only have the option to share with people, users or groups, or the suggested target audience. But this is also always overridable by the users who are perhaps a little more tech savvy. So if I were to go to this test document here, and I'll just open my Cloud Shell, which has GAM installed. So if I do GAM user Brian, show file info. So this will show me some information about the file, and the file should have only one permission because I'm the only user. So I'll just create a permission to this file GAM user Brian, add drive file ACL, file ID, just the domain workspaceadmins.org role reader. So even though the target audience in the sharing dialog doesn't show the domain share, or doesn't give me the option of sharing with the entire domain, I can actually use the API to share with the entire domain. So now the permission is now created. Once I refresh here, you see that icon has now changed to Workspace Admins. So you can also just update this permission through the GUI back to the community members, or you can also create the additional target audience permission using GAM as well, or using the Drive API. So I'll just grab the target audience ID. So as you can see, it contains a group, and you can add a user or a group to a target audience. So one example you might do, or you might have, is creating a dynamic group and adding that dynamic group to these target audience. So I'll go back to Cloud Shell here, and I will just change the domain. So as I mentioned earlier, target audience ID .audience .googledomains.com role. I'll just provide a commenter role here. So now that permission is created, refresh. And now community members have commenter access and Workspace admins have viewer access. So you can also do this for external domains as well, or external target audiences you might have in case you are going through any mergers or acquisitions. So I'll just share this file with everyone at google.com domain with editor access. And refresh again. Now you can see everyone at Google has the editor access to this file. So that's how you might go about using target audience to share a file with anyone at the domain, whether the domain contains everyone within the organization or people within a target audience. Again, target audience.audience.googledomains.com domain. So I'll just quickly demonstrate a Google Calendar permission. Here, oops, I'll just go to my calendar here, settings and sharing. So this calendar is shared with Workspace admins. So we'll use GAM to list the permissions of my calendar as well. So GAM user, Brian, show calendar ACLs. Okay, so we have a lot of permissions, or a few different calendars and few different permissions. I'll just do primary. So that only shows me the permissions of my primary calendar. I'll just run it again. And let's say I want to create a new permission. So I'll do GAM user Brian, or you can also do GAM calendar, Brian at workspaceadmins.org as well. But I like using user impersonation where possible. Primary, I'll do domain, followed by the target audience ID. I'll just go back to previous page here. Role, I'll do owner, send notif. Okay, so that didn't like that syntax. So let me just confirm what that was. Okay, so the permission comes first, and then the what's associated with the permission. There you go. I messed up the domain, so audience.googledomains.com. So calendars can actually have multiple owners, and it's not necessarily a traditional ownership in a sense that it's just the people who have the ability to make changes to events and manage sharing. But looks like for my calendar, the options, there is a admin restriction that applies the permission I can grant to a different user or a different domain. So the highest privilege is editor instead of FreeBSD. So if I uncheck this box, only the people inside the target audience can see my see the details of my calendar or see FreeBSD. So that's how you might also control internal visibility or external visibility of a user's calendar. But again, these are settings that are controlled by individual users. So users will always have the ability to override these settings. So this was a video of using a target audience for drive sharing and calendar sharing. So if you found this helpful, please subscribe and like this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out at team@workspaceadmins.org. Thank you.